Hey, it's TT. Welcome back to Spooky Prompts 2023. I am going to be working on the prompt for letter T. Look at how many prompts we've been through. Oh my goodness. And the prompt was originally teeth. I decided to change the prompt to toad because we already did fangs. And I looked for pictures of teeth to see if there were any that I liked that I wanted to paint, and I really didn't find anything. So I decided that I would just do toad instead and started looking for a picture of a cute amphibian. And I actually found this picture on, I think it was Unsplash, and it's a toad, a frog, sitting on a mushroom. And I mean, obviously I've heard of a toadstool, but I guess I didn't really think that like in real life a frog would actually sit on a mushroom. And so when I saw the picture, I was like, "Holy moly! Frogs really do that in real life. They actually legitimately like sit on mushrooms, like it's a little bed for them or a little chair for them." And I knew I needed to paint it whenever I saw it, so I switched my prompt, and that was that. And you might be thinking that Toad is not a very spooky Halloween prompt, and I would counter by saying that toads are very frequently portrayed as familiars for witches. So you must feel real silly right now because, of course, if it's a witch's familiar, obviously it's a spooky prompt. So I decided to do this entire painting in jelly gouache. I had not worked exclusively in jelly gouache in a few paintings. I'd been mostly sticking to watercolors, thrown in a few neocolors, but for the most part it was watercolors. And I was like, I'm gonna give these jelly gouache another shot. And I've had mixed experiences with these so far. Of course, I'm newer to the medium just in general. So it's getting used to a opaque paint that when you lay it down, it doesn't dry. Or well, it does dry. I shouldn't phrase it that way. It dries, but if you scrub your brush over it or get it too wet and try to like add another layer on top, it will reactivate the paint that's underneath your layer that you're working on. So that will, of course, mix that color that's on the underneath with the color you just put on top. So it can be really difficult to avoid getting muddy colors if you're doing a lot of layering. So I have that I'm kind of trying to get used to and trying to learn. And then it dries so incredibly fast. I'm using a Stay Wet palette, a Masterson's Stay Wet palette, which has a sponge underneath the paper palette piece there, and it keeps it wet for hours. So that's kind of like I've tried the last time that I did jelly gouache. I think I did my like my ceramic palette, and I was really frustrated by how fast it was drying on my palette, and then I couldn't really get the full use out of it. When you reactivate it on the palette, it's almost like watercolor. When you reactivate it, it's just it's too thin to really get an opaque layer. So but anyway, this Stay Wet palette has worked really well for this jelly gouache experience. I feel like this was a mostly good painting experience. I don't, like, looking back at it, I don't think that I had any particular frustrations with like, oh, I really want, to accomplish this, but I can't seem to get this medium or whatever to cooperate. I will say that I had to do the back toes on this toad like a solid 4 times at least, because I just kept like accidentally losing all of the details by going over it with something and washing the color that was underneath it out, and then I had to do it again. The only thing I don't like about the painting, now that it's complete, is that I just used the green, the dark green from the frog with the toad, um, for the shadow color underneath his hand on the mushroom, and I should have used like a blue. And I can always just go back over it and change that color. It's not a deal breaker or anything for the painting, but that's the only thing I don't like. Overall, pretty cute, I think. I like the way it came out. So, thanks for watching.